Okay, one last operation here on this table. We set the top on the pedestal with a special glue, but I'm going to add 3 screws that go through the tabletop into the pedestal about 1.5 inches. I'm going to use some tap cons. And the head on these, there's a hexagon head. And you can drive them with the impact driver once we get the holes drilled. Also trying out the Tapcon drill bits. Doesn't really make much difference on this. This concrete is pretty tough. We don't know much about this little picnic table. What we do know is that the top and the seat and the supports sat on this property for 5 to 6 years in storage outside, curing. And it was picked up in Alabama alongside the road at a landscaping place where you get your statuettes and your garden gnomes and your bird baths. And this was sitting, it was already set up, sitting somewhere on the property, and the owner liked it, so they packed it up and put it on a truck and brought it here. Now it could have sat at that landscape place for maybe 2 years or something. The point is that the longer concrete has to cure, the harder it gets. Now if you had bought this thing, say 2 months after it was cast, this concrete would be a lot softer and you could drill right through it. But the Romans will tell you, as it ages, concrete gets harder. Whether it's a driveway or a foundation, that's just the way it goes. So we're beating the heck out of this thing. We got a couple in here, these Tapcons. So what I use is this drill. I use a big bit to warble out a big hole first. We got this one started. And then drill your smaller hole through this. And the idea is to countersink this head down low enough where I can lay some mortar on top, and this whole thing will get a second finish coat of paint. So we're hoping to hide these things so you don't see them. But it's going to give it mechanical strength. The glue is special, I know that, but in 2-3 years it could crack or fail, or we don't know. But just a few extra screws. Somebody's going to stand on this table for sure someday. Kid, workman, something. And you could run bolts through the pedestal with nuts and bolts and hold it that way. But we're just giving it a little extra strength. Let me show you what this looks like. Put your earplugs in. And it's kind of convenient. We got you want to drill through concrete and stone with some water, so we got our little water supply right here. Sweet. Now it's switched to the smaller bit. 3/4 of an inch. So we'll pause her. Pausing. Blank. A little high. And it spun on me. Kev, what happens when it spins on you? What do you do then? Put a bigger Tapcon in it? Maybe. Take some wire. Cut your piece of wire. Bend your wire over. Mash it down in the hole. See if that does. A little high. Nice. Nice. Little paint, should be fine. All right, got a few little things to do. Sweep, more sand. This is be the third batch of sand I've put down the cracks, but eventually it'll fill up, and we'll call it good. We're going to do a muriatic acid wash when we're all done here. Paint the table, muriatic acid wash, and then call it good. We'll be back with that in a minute.